Joined us to look at the commotion at the National Assembly this morning is Liboros Oshoma. He's a legal practitioner. Good morning and thanks for joining us. Before we go into this, good thing we have two lawyers today. I would really want you to tell us, what do you understand by diligent prosecution? Because we are talking about the case of Oguchi that was struck out when a judge said lack of diligent prosecution.
I listened to the General
Badiwale
that just left here, and he was diligent prosecution. He was talking about gathering evidence and all of that. No, that's not. When a judge says, "I'm striking out this case for lack of diligent prosecution," basically it means that you don't come to court. You've been seeking adjournment unnecessarily. Primarily, that's for example, the first time the case was adjourned at your instance. Secondly, you come to court, your witness is not in court. The third time you come, or you're not even in court, you write a letter, "Oh, I'm in some other matter," and the court sees that there's a life, human life is involved, and with the nature of the case, ordinarily you should be diligent in prosecuting. And so when you are not diligent in prosecuting, the judge will have no other option but to strike it out. So what the police basically does in most cases is, they either don't come or they write letters, because sometimes you have a sitting IPO, a sitting prosecutor in most of these courts. But in some cases, special cases like this, you have an external prosecutor that comes from the headquarters to prosecute. And the sitting prosecutor is asked what happens. He says, well, the file is with the prosecutor that is handling the matter. I tried calling him. His phones are not going through. Maybe he will be here. Or he called me yesterday that he will be here. I don't know why he's not here. And all of those kind of flimsy excuses. So those are, lack of diligent prosecution.
Well, anyway, I think looking at the matter at hand, commotion at the Assembly, Nigerian police, the lawmakers scaling the fence, and what people have defined that to mean for them. What does that interpret for you, the action of the lawmakers as well as the police on that day?
First and foremost, I would say that it's sad that this day and age will still be, look at lawmakers, we look at the National Assembly, look at the Nigerian police, and we will liken them to the 60s. A situation where, we play politics with everything, including human lives. Basically, for me, the question for determination on that day was the extension of the emergency rule. And I expected all parties, the executive, to put politics aside. Forget the issue of whether Tambuwa defected or not. Forget whether you don't see him as a member of the National Assembly. Since the matter is in court, why don't you put all of those aside and see how you can, cajole the National Assembly members to extend this emergency rule? But by invading, remind you, the police are there's an arm of the executive arm of government. And so by the executive arm invading, because the IG cannot deploy police to the National Assembly without the president's awareness of what is happening, because all of this is politics. To invade the National Assembly when you were the one that called them back on recess, and then now deny the speaker access into the complex, for me, it's causing trouble. Intentionally, it means that the essence of recalling them was not for extension of the emergency.
No, I think let's get something straight. Does that mean that the police can't act without an order from the president?
Let me tell you, I have maintained consistently that it is high time we begin to look at, separating the appointment of the IG of police and also the Attorney General of the Federation, from the powers of the president. Because here you have a situation where our IGs cannot act without looking at the body language of Mr. President. Right from 1999, all the elections we have had, every IG had acted as an extension of the ruling party. They have never hidden the fact that they are doing the bidding of the ruling party. We are all aware of what happened in 2003, 2007, even 2011 election. And so it is not a new thing, but it's just that this one, it's too early in the day. They've taken sides too early. And so people are beginning to wonder if truly with the style of the police now, if truly we're going to have a free and fair election, we're going to have a police that will be unbiased. Because mind you, this same police, there have been accusation of police aiding and abetting, snatching and stuffing of ballot boxes during election. And so you now have a situation where you have a commissioner of police detached to the National Assembly. Mind you, the National Assembly also had its own arm, a corrective arm in the National Assembly, in the event that there are, fracas and, issues of public disturbance. And then also, even if somebody is going to invite the police to the National Assembly, being a distinct arm of government, the Senate President and the Speaker of the House of Assembly must be involved, must be aware. And so, now the Speaker, from what we saw that day, was not aware. And he even sought, clarification from the commissioner that was in charge, and nobody responded. To me, it is, taking politics, too far. It's condemnable. And then the action of the lawmakers, while I condemn the jumping of the fence, but if you look at it on the flip side, this is a situation, a country with impunity, where 4 lawmakers can sit down and attempt to impeach a governor, where 7 lawmakers can sit down in a house of 34 members and impeach a sitting speaker, and then you now say go to court, you have been impeached. And then also you find media addressing that usurper as a factional speaker. Anything would have happened, would have been possible on that day. And so those people that were scaling the fence, while I condemn it, I would recognize the fact that they were scaling the fence to protect their daily meal, their meal ticket, not for protection of democracy.
No, they weren't protecting democracy.
No, it wasn't about protection of democracy. It was protecting their daily meal, because anything could have happened that day. 20 House of Rep members could have sat and then just hit the gavel and say, the ayes have it, the speaker has been impeached. And then the next thing, some people will say, go to court. And between now and the election, the windmill of justice here grinds slowly. And so forgetting also that justice delayed is justice denied. And so anything could have happened, and then the chaos would have been worse than this.